Hello, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at the ongoing protests happening at universities across the U.S. and even in the world. There's a lot of protests. We're going to focus on the U.S. today, and we're going to talk about Macklemore. Macklemore released a new song today, and it's called Hind's Hall. We're going to, and here it is on his X account here. We're going to talk about the lyrics to this song that came out today, just 4 hours ago. It's pretty interesting. Here is the video of it, and it's a it's a wonder. It's a wonder. Actually, it probably isn't. A lot of you guys are like, of course this is happening. Mario Knopfel wrote about it. He says Macklemore has released a new track supporting student protesters advocating for Palestine, directing all streaming proceeds to UNRWA. Columbia University students renamed Hamilton Hall to Hind Hall in honor of the 6-year-old Palestinian girl Hind Rajab, who was killed by Israeli tanks. It says here, Mario wrote, the song is so culturally relevant it even includes the customary shots at Drake. And here's a quote from the lyrics, and we'll go through more of it in a bit, but it says, quote, if I was on a label, you could drop me today. I'd be fine with it 'cause the heart fed my page. I want a ceasefire, F a response from Drake. What you willing to risk, what you willing to give? What if you were in Gaza? What if those were your kids? If the West was pretending that you didn't exist, you'd want the world to stand up, and the students finally did. That's from Macklemore's song. And let's look at some protests going on, and then we'll talk more about these lyrics here in a moment. Here we have Ollie London covering or posting this hunger strike for Palestine video. It's an interesting one, so we're going to watch it. And this is a list of demands for her solidarity fast. And they are fasting until the university caves to hers and other students' demands. This is from this morning, so let's have a listen.
Inviting any people of conscience in the Princeton community, students, faculty, alumni, to participate with the striking students in a solidarity fast. In just the last few hours, we have had commitments from at least 6 people from Princeton Theological Seminary to participate in this solidarity fast, with more coming in by the hour. At the seminary, we've also been calling our school to disclose and divest for the last several years and want to join together with the students from the university in their hunger strike. Almost every faith tradition in the world engages in the spiritual practice of fasting.
That's
the 3
true.
major Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, are no exception to this. Jesus himself said, of some evils in the world, they require both prayer and fasting. And we are here to live into that word.
Wow. Interesting there that she ends with the word of Jesus from the Bible, or a quote from the Bible. So it's interesting they're trying to get, it looks like, solidarity between all these different religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Palestinian religions, or, I guess Muslim faiths. It's interesting, man, and this is probably just the beginning. I mean, that's probably not a novel or new idea. I mean, we all probably see the writing on the wall, but with the popular music supporting these protests and these ongoing, just this attention that it gets and what's going on, it's going to continue. And there've been a lot of concerning threats made and things like this that we see, where this is going to be going on for months, it seems. Perhaps. I hope not. I mean, I hope things are resolved. It's not good. It's terrible. I don't think anybody likes to see what's going on around the world. Here in the States, anywhere else, any country, especially when all these elections are going on. We have the U.S. and many other countries going through political strife at the same time this is all happening. And then, of course, there are health things unfolding at the same time, but that's not what the show is about. We're just going to look at the protests. So let me know, what do you guys think about this hunger strike for Palestine? It's interesting, too, having this, quote from the Bible said at the end of it. It reminds me of the Jews for Palestine and these different kinds of groups that we've seen come together this year and join these protests. It's it's really something. So let's move on here. Here is another video. Aliyah Scootercaster is a good account to follow. She posts a lot of videos of these protests. Here is New York City. Aliyah writes, a counter-protester with an Israeli keffiyeh got punched in the face during the Day of Rage protest. As the crowd chases after him, a man from, quote, NYPD intelligence unit attempted to stop everyone, turning into confrontation. So things are getting a little feisty out there, and that is not unique. Here we have a another protester here having some words. Let's hear what they say.
Harvard think this is going to stop? The student intifada has engulfed the entire country. It is changing the conversation, expanding the realm of possibility. And if these universities care only about their assets, the student movement will become a liability. If university portfolios make genocide profitable, the student intifada will make each day of continued investment more costly than the last.
I don't even know if that's
If these administrations run their campuses as tyrants, those campuses will become ungovernable. The Harvard Out of Occupied Palestine Coalition is proud of the discipline with which its student protesters have conducted themselves in the face of daily intimidation and abuse. But here at Harvard, the administration has left the student movement with few options to seek the change they advocate for. And make no mistake, whatever happens next, it will be the result of the choices that Harvard has made. All questions can be directed to the Harvard Out of Occupied Palestine email.
I mean, they said that there will be a burden put on Harvard if their demands aren't met or whatever the case is. I guess, ending the wars and whatnot. What that means exactly, I don't know. I guess it's up for interpretation. Be curious to think what you guys think. I mean, this is pretty wild stuff that we're seeing. Today we had mass arrests at what they called the Day of Rage protest outside of the Met Gala in New York City. And that was ugly. Aliyah Scootercaster posted some videos on that. And here we have Aliyah reporting this, saying, quote, American flag burned as protesters chant free, free Palestine on the 107th Infantry War Memorial on 5th Avenue in New York City during this Day of Rage protest today on the 6th. May 6th, 2024. Here they are putting up Palestine flags and chanting on this 107th Infantry War Memorial. I don't know. All of these, and then there's graffiti and a burning U.S. flag on the ground out in front of the statue. Wowzer. Ra's alerts reported on the New York police declaring level 3 mobilization at the Met Gala, and that's when things turned a little ugly. Ra's alerts went on to explain, saying, quote, this evening, quote, currently hundreds of pro-Palestine protesters and other activists are clashing with New York police law enforcement who have issued and declared a level 3 mobilization, as protesters and activists can be seen forcefully tearing through barricades to access restricted areas outside the Met Gala event, which the Met Gala event, which is taking place in Manhattan, New York. Multiple reports say that multiple arrests have been made by law enforcement. Protesters describe this as a day of rage, and the situation is still developing and ongoing, and I'm sure that's going to be the case for the days, weeks, and months to come. Maybe even years, guys. This is serious stuff. Here is Rooted Wings on X saying, just in U.S. San Diego, this is May 6th, this afternoon, they've canceled all classes and gyms as there is continuing pro-Palestine and anti-police unrest after police dispersed the encampment and arrested students and other early this morning, she writes. The chancellor of UCSD declared the encampment an unlawful gathering yesterday afternoon. And there they are, pictured below in this video. My goodness, what else? Same thing here. Mass arrests, whatnot. Let's talk about Macklemore's video here. Hind's Hall. He writes, once it is up on streaming, all proceeds to UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Work Agency for Palestine Refugees. So that's what it is. They have an organization, and that's where all proceeds from Macklemore's song will go, according to him. And they were set up January 1st, 2017, and began operating. Wow. It's a UN agency that supports the relief and human development of Palestinian refugees. Interesting. Huh. Here are the lyrics. Yeah, the people, they won't leave. What is threatening about divesting and wanting peace? The problem isn't the protests, it's what they're protesting. It goes against what our country is funding. Block the barricade until Palestine is free. Block the barricade until Palestine is free. When I was 7, I learned a lesson from Cube and Eazy-E. What was it again? Oh yeah, F the police. So, of course, they put that in, some anti-cop rhetoric in the first verse. And in verse 2, it says here, actors in badges protecting property and a system that was designed in the streets. I'm going to play this in the background as it goes here. The video from Macklemore. But the people are in the streets. You can't pay off Meta. You can't pay off me. Politicians who serve by any means, IPAC, CUFI, and all the companies you see, we sell fear around the land of the free. And there's not much more imagery in the video except in the end here, and lyrics going through the screen. It says here, politicians who serve by any means, AIPAC, Kufi, and all the companies you see, we sell fear around the land of the free, but this generation here is about to cut the strings. You can ban TikTok, take us out the algorithm, but it's too late. We've seen the truth, we bear witness. Who gets the right to defend and who gets the right of resistance has always been about dollars and the color of your pigment. But white supremacy is finally on blast, screaming, free Palestine till they're home at last. Verse 3. We see the lies in them, claiming it's anti-Semitic to be anti-Zionist. I've seen Jewish brothers and sisters out there and writing in solidarity and screaming free Palestine with them, organizing, unlearning, and finally cutting ties with a state that's going to rely on an apartheid system to uphold an occupying violent history been repeating for the last 75. I guess years, that is. That's me adding that. He just wrote last 75. Anyway, it says here, quote, the Nakba never ended. The colonizer lied. If students in tents posted on the lawn occupying the quad is really against the law and a reason to call in the police and their squad, where does genocide land in your definition, huh? I mean, to me, that doesn't really make sense. It's interesting lyrics here, to say the least. It says here, destroying every college in Gaza and every mosque, pushing everyone into Rafah and dropping bombs. The blood is on your hands, Biden. We can see it all. And F no, I'm not voting for you in the fall. Undecided, you can't twist the truth. The people out here united, never be defeated when freedom's on the horizon. Yet the music industry's quiet, complicit in their platform of silence. Let me stop there. The music industry isn't quiet. I mean, I'm reading a song right now, Macklemore. The music industry's quiet. No, they're not. You just put this out. It's got 4.2 million impressions on X, 102,000 likes, 42,000 reposts, almost 3,000 comments. And if I refresh, it's probably even higher now. So that's interesting, an interesting statement. And the music industry is very interesting. Actually, I have a lot of music saved up where I've been looking at it, a lot of newer music, and talking to people about the videos and the lyrics and just the music industry. It's just, it's Hollywood, right? Pretty much. And it's very interesting. So I may do some videos on that in the near future. Anyway, verse 4 is this, quote, what happened to the artist? What do you got to say? If I was on a label, you could drop me today. I'd be fine with it because the heart fed my page. I want a ceasefire, a response from Drake. what you willing to risk, what you willing to give, what if you were in Gaza, what if those were your kids, blah 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 blah. I told you, I already read that verse earlier. So yeah, of course he calls out Drake, makes this a big deal. So now Drake and Macklemore's treating, whoa. Yeah, anyway. What a day, man. And this stuff just keeps on going. So we'll keep our eye on what's happening. Everybody stay safe. Everybody, I'll see you soon. Take care.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.